Hey everybody, this is Carpo here, and I guess this would be more of a warning video, than anything, but the RC market is out of control. For those who aren't aware of what the RC market is, it's the research chemical market. And over the last 20 years, the RC market has gone insane. There are hundreds and hundreds of chemicals that you can buy online, which are basically analogs of either psychedelics, amphetamines, anxiolytics, uh, barbiturates, DMT, LSD, and all of these analogs are very similar in their chemical structure and makeup to the original chemical, but the Analog Act hasn't quite caught up with them in America. Therefore they're legal to order online, and every time one of the chemicals becomes illegal, another one comes up in its place. Now this is kind of a you know this can be a good or a bad thing depending on how you look at it. And for a lot of people who are looking to expand their horizons in the psychedelic world, I say go gung-ho, enjoy. For those who are selling these things to people, posing as other chemicals such as MDMA, ecstasy, LSD, all types of different chemical compounds that are very similar to others are posing, especially as psychedelics. And that scares me because as a consumer of psychedelics, I stick to the ones I know, which are time-tested: LSD 25, psilocybin, mescaline, and DMT. DMT especially is safe in my eyes. It's endogenous to the body, so it's a natural body compound everywhere within nature. But without getting too far off track here, we've got a whole variety of these natural compounds that are available, yet pharmaceutically we're trying to compete with that. And I don't know what to make of it, because I'm a psychonaut. I like to explore. But on the other hand, there are some of these compounds that you can buy a gram of for $100, maybe a couple $100, maybe less, maybe more, depends on the compound. They vary in price extremely. But some of these are highly potent psychedelic compounds, and they are active at, say, there was some stories, there's some of them that are active at 1 to 2 milligrams. And there have been stories of people just taking 12 milligrams. Now, if you're not aware, a milligram is a thousandth of a gram, so 10 milligrams being an overdose, extreme overdose, is only 1/100th of a gram, very small amount. So it's easy to overdo these things. And people who have said that they just tripped for 3 or 4 days or longer and have had after effects. And the thing is with LSD, and this is, I'm not going to get into the science of how this works, because we don't really know exactly fully how to compare these to like LSD. But for example, LSD seems to have a ceiling effect, where you take a certain amount and yes, you get very high, but it doesn't seem to have any type of physical effects. It's a very strong mental effect. People can get sweaty and get nervous, but some of these compounds actually cause you to sweat heavily, cause heart palpitations, all types of problems, and it can cause major brain problems. If we don't know how these things work, we don't understand them well enough, we need to be very cautious about administering them. So I guess what I'm saying here is, for the explorer who wants to try these things, do so, please, with your friends and by yourself. And for those who are trying to sell this posing as something else, this has got to stop, because it's just going to keep putting a bad name on psychedelics, which psychedelics help millions of people every year overcome so many problems and learn so much about their world and cure addictions. And some of these these research chemicals, are just garbage, and it's unfortunate. But actually, there was a recent episode of Vice that covered this a while back, and check it out if you get a chance. They talked about, they showed some of the places in China that actually make this stuff, and we're talking major factories, chemical factories. And they go in there and they actually talk to the guys and said, hey, can you make us this compound? And they'd show them a picture of the molecule, and they'd say, oh, we can make it. They'll make anything, and they don't care if it gets a person high, then it gets sold, and there's absolutely no testing done on any of this. So people need to be aware. And if you're taking something that's on a blotter, piece of paper, or in a capsule, that's when you need to be most cautious, or a tablet, of course. And that's why I would stick to mushrooms and stick with family and people you know. So safe travels, my friends, and have a good evening.